Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas, guys. I'm excited for it, but there aren't many Christmas presents over there.
I know, my present is doing this video.
That's not very good.
Theo, stop waffling. Let's get on with this video.
Okay, well, listen, we're going through every Premier League club and picking one player you need to sign in January in a random order.
Wow.
So let's start with Burnley. Who you picked?
Burnley, they're going to lose James Tarkowski soon. So, Ricardo Santos from Bolton Wanderers. He's strong, he's fit, he's confident on the ball. I don't want to lose him for a second, but I think he'd fit into the Burnley team.
Okay, let's just go one step at a time here. So you don't buy any Christmas presents for me, and then you want to sell one of Bolton's best players.
I know, I'm going to have to hide for the next
You
year or two.
mug, Thogdad! Okay, well, I've gone a little bit more out there for my Burnley shout. I've gone for Benjamin Boragua. He's a 27-year-old right midfielder, right winger who plays for Stade Rennes. Now, he's worth about 14 million, so it's worth it. It's worth a cheeky bid. And he's got, by far, the most key passes, I've done my research, in Liga 1 this season. Hakimi this year has 21 key passes. This guy, 60, okay? He would add so much progression into the attacking final ball. I mean, he's got like 6.34 progressive forward passes per game for Stade Rennes. Imagine how much creativity that would add to the Burnley side. Get Goodmanson out, bring in him. You're sorted. On to Leeds. Who you gone for?
I've gone for Weston McKennie, Theo, the USA international from Juventus. There's a big link between Leeds and the USA. Bring him in.
Okay. Well, I completely agree. They could probably do with a new right back, maybe a left back as well, a centre back, a centre mid, a striker, an attacking mid, because Tyler Roberts is there. Also, Forshaw in their midfield right now. It's an injury crisis. It's not the right team. They should do a lot of business in January. I just find it weird how we agree on that one player that we're trying to suggest to them, which is Weston McKennie. A very good box-to-box midfielder. Juve are looking to let him out. I know on deadline day they were looking at a move. I think it'd be perfect for Bielsa. He's got loads of energy, could add a contribution. Get him in.
Chelsea now, we've seen their frailty in defence recently, and now centre-back position, Christensen is injured, Rudiger might be leaving, Jules Koundé, that's who you need from Sevilla. Sign him up.
He's very much gassed up. People love him.
Yes.
And with Chelsea playing a three-back, if they want to win the Premier League title in the next few years, he could be the real leader to take them there. And I've gone for someone a little bit more short-term, shall we say. A left-back who's doing well at Everton, but seems to have a little bit of a hiccup with Rafa. He might be looking to leave, therefore. And I think Chelsea should be right in there. Lucas Digne, of course.
Yes.
Do you agree with me?
I agree totally. Sign him up.
Would be a good backup. We know how much Chilwell gets injured, so I think it makes sense.
Newcastle now, I've mentioned him already, James Tarkowski. Now, the thing about him, Theo, rock solid player for Oldham, for Brentford, for Burnley. He will fight for you in a relegation scrap. If they go down, he'll fight for you in the Championship. An ideal purchase.
Yeah, well, let's go one step at a time here. Newcastle need a lot of positions. They need new transfers all over the pitch. There's a lot of business to happen in January. I'm recommending a centre-back as well as you are.
Yes.
But they could do with a right-back.
They need 10 new players, let's be honest.
A centre-mid is very key here. I'm going to recommend Nicolas Soulé. They're already linked with him. I think they've put in a bid in for him. If they make this happen, it's iconic for the Geordies. He is a top-level Bayern Munich German centre-back. A beast at the back.
Yeah.
Now, what's in it for Soulé? Good question. Well, I think he could become a Geordie hero, the future captain. There is good money to it. But I think, he might want to move to the Premier League, a new challenge. I'd love to see it happen.
Very good shout. Wolves, I've gone for Alexander Isaac from Sociedad, Theo. Now, the thing about Wolves, Raul Jimenez, he's not the same player he was pre-injury. You need a goal scorer.
Yes, that's correct. And I think something else Wolves need is a beast in the midfield. And I'm going to say a name that loads of Wolves fans already know. They all want him. I'm going to add to the fire, shall we say. Renato Sanchez, the Portuguese big man in midfield. He's so good on the ball for a big lad. He's got the pace and drive. Currently, they play with a 2 in midfield of Moutinho or Neves, or a 3 with Dendoncker. I just think Renato Sanchez adds something different. He can cover a lot of different positions. On the ball, he can drive with it. He's got the pace, athleticism that Wolves need, and they've got a lack of goals right now. I think he would add something different to them and help them score more.
Theo, I'm a big fan of him, but I'm taking him somewhere else. Theo, Liverpool have got some problems at the moment. They've got an ageing squad, they've got an illness crisis, and they've got players going to the African Cup of Nations.
Correct.
So you know what? I'm looking to the midfield. I'm bringing in the brilliant box-to-box Jude Bellingham.
So hold on, you mentioned AFCON and then you get a centre mid.
Yes.
You need a winger. That's why I've gone for...
I'm not thinking about the next few weeks, Theo. I'm thinking of a world-class player. Birmingham sold him for 21 million. He's worth 4 times that now. He's Liverpool standard. He can learn a lot alongside Jordan Henderson. Buy him.
I think he's a good summer option. I don't think Dortmund are going to sell at this point.
Probably
they absolutely love him. I think a player that's more likely to make the move is Luis Diaz. He's a Colombian winger who can play on the right side, which is obviously Salah's position. Because of AFCON, he might be missing. He's a good backup. 12 goals and 3 assists registered this season in 15 games for Porto. I know that's in the Portuguese league, but the Colombian has a great bit of pace and a finish on him. And under Klopp, he can only get from this level to here to here. We've seen it all happen before. I'd say make that signing happen in January. He'll get game time whilst they're at AFCON, and then he could be a good squad depth.
That is a tasty shout. Norwich City have gone for Ben Brereton Diaz. Blackburn fans will not like me. He's got 19 goals already this season. Will he go to Norwich? I don't know. But their current striker is not good enough, is he? Pookie.
Yeah, that's exactly why I picked Taiwo Awanoi. He's a Union Berlin striker, actually. I watched him live this season score an unbelievable goal. But his stats this year are incredible. And he had something different to Pookie. He's more of your finisher.
Yeah.
Awanoi is a big lad.
Yes.
Target man. Great at hold-up, but he's also got pace, so he can run over the defence to score goals. And that's what he does for Union. Everything, really. He's 24 years old and only get better, a 26% conversion rate. And the best thing about him is you could play him in a 2-up-top with Pookie. Dean Smith could try a different formation, a different plan. That's exactly what they need to do if they want to survive in this league. Try something new.
Theo, I think you were scouting him at the Berlin derby, mate.
I was. 9 goals in 16 games. Here's one of the goals I saw him score against Wolfsburg. Josh, slap on the screen. Absolute. How good is that, Dad?
That is a brilliant goal.
Unreal.
Everton, now I've gone for Nathan Patterson. He's absolutely smashing it north of the border for Rangers and for Scotland. 20 years old. And I think Rafa likes to believe in youth, doesn't he?
Interesting how you've gone for a right back there. They might need a left back if Digne goes. I think fullbacks are the options. I wanted to add more to their winger depth because when you do have DCL and Richarlison back, you've got Damari Gray on one side, but they may need a future winger on the other. Here's where I'm thinking Francis Amuzu, the 22-year-old winger who's actually been really good for Anderlecht this season. 6 starts, 6 big chances created. He's only just breaking into the team. Everton have eyes on him already, but the best thing about him, he's both-footed, left and right. He can play on either wing as well. And he would feed DCL and Richarlison all day, all night. It's what you love. Toffees fans, you should be absolutely saying, bring him in.
Arsenal now, you've already mentioned him, Renato Sanchez, Theo,
Arsenal.
from Lille. Absolutely. Arsenal have got such strength in attacking midfield areas. So I'm looking further back at central midfield. Portuguese international was a brilliant part of that Lille championship winning team. Bring him in.
For Arsenal?
Yes, for Arsenal. He's that good.
I've already mentioned him for Wolves because of the Portuguese link.
Wolves, Arsenal, those are comparable teams, surely.
I just don't see them making that signing. I have looked at centre mid. I really think you and me should be mentioning strikers like Jonathan David and Moussa Dembele, who's been doing well. They do need a striker, but I can't see them signing one in January. Someone they've been highly linked with, though, in January, and I do see it happening, is Arthur. He's literally called Arthur. Brazilian lad.
Yeah.
Ex-Barcelona. Currently Juventus. Now, the great thing about him, he suits Arsenal's style of play. He's so good on the ball. He's an absolute pivot. He gets the ball. He gives it on, but also he's got that quick feet, so he's able to move a little bit like Thiago. He can move and transition quicker. Well, a lot quicker than Partey and Xhaka, that's for sure. But that's why I think it'd be the perfect balance. If you had Arthur there next to a Partey or a Xhaka, they complement each other because he's got the quick, agile movements and can ping a ball as well. Next to a Xhaka and Partey who will just sit there and cover. I think it would be a good balance going forward for Arsenal. Arteta probably sees a lot himself in him anyway, so let's see what happens.
Brighton and Hove Albion, I'm buying Wout Weghorst, Theo, the Dutch international, who's absolutely smashing it for Wolfsburg. 20 goals last season. I think he's got 6 goals this season. They need a replacement for Maupay. Doesn't put the ball in the net, does he?
Correct. I think that's a good opinion. A target man adds something different. It's some sort of thing I said for Norwich. I've gone for more of a goal scorer who could be at the Brighton forward line for years to come and could be a Premier League... He will be in the Premier League next season anyway. You've already mentioned him. The Chilean Ben Brereton Diaz. You know I was going to say it.
Yeah.
Banging in the goals. I can just see a move to Brighton happening. It makes sense to me in the head. It's realistic.
Brentford now. I've gone for Fabien Sentonze from Metz, Theo, who is a right back. Now, I've spoken to my French scouts about this. I'd never heard of him. But apparently what he's done this season is added goals to his game, and he would fit in well to that Brentford system.
I've also gone for that right wing back role. And I've gone very off the hook, something different, out there. I've gone for a Scandinavian player because they do like to sign from that region, as we know. And his name is Patrick Willemark. Now, he's 20 years old. In terms of big chances created, I think he's third in the top Swedish league for players under 25, and he's 20. He's currently playing on the wing with 9 goals and 6 assists, can also play right wing back. He's left-footed, very creative, can score a goal. He reminds me a bit of Mailer. Do you remember Mailer in the Euros?
Course, yeah.
It's like him on the other side. He plays similar to him, inverted, can get involved in the attack. I think Brentford could really add something special with a player like Willemark. Now, I'm mentioning him now. People won't have heard of him. And Brentford usually sign these sort of players with very good statistics and I've heard. So get him done now, and he will be the future of the Bees.
Watford now, you need a defender. I'm saying the Bolton lad, Nat Phillips. He's been sitting on the bench at Liverpool, at Anfield for too long. When he got his chance in the Premier League, I think he was good, Theo.
Yeah.
I think he'd add something to the Watford team.
That one makes sense. I've gone for Joe Rodon.
Yes.
Yeah, Spurs are looking to loan him out.
Good shout.
Game time in the Premier League, not too far, Tottenham to Watford as well. It makes sense. He probably won't even need to move house. It's the perfect signing, and he would add something different to the Watford backline. They've clearly had a problem. They're conceding way too many goals. He is a leader. We've seen it in the Championship. He's proven it there. I'd like to see this move happen.
West Ham United, Jonathan David. You've mentioned the name already. He's banging them in for Lille. He's banging them in for Canada. 18 goals in 24 caps.
Wow.
What an amazing young player this is.
He is. It's whether he'll go to West Ham. I've also picked him. He's linked with Real Madrid. Apparently they're top bidders currently to sign him. It's whether West Ham are up there. You know, when the real top dogs, historic football clubs like Real Madrid and the Bayern Munichs, if they start getting interested, I think it goes to a different level. But if David Moyes can drop a masterclass and get him in the books, do it, because he is unreal in Liga in this season for Lille. 12 goals in 15 games. He's also bagging them in the Champions League, helped Lille get out their Champions League group, which wasn't impossible, but he scored some important goals. He's moving to a big club. West Ham are up there now. They should be fighting for it. If they can do that, it adds a plan B to their forward line. I know everyone's talking about Antonio, but a second option would make sense, and he does fit their style of play as well. So I'd like to see this move happen.
Southampton now, Amadou Haidara. He's a Malian international, a central midfielder at Leipzig.
Okay.
Now the thing is, he's linked with Manchester United, and I'm not sure he's quite ready, so I'm taking him to Southampton.
Interesting.
He's a very versatile player. CM, DM, left midfield, right midfield. He can even play in an attacking position. Bring him in.
I didn't think of that. I went more for a goalkeeper. They have an issue there. They need a new goalkeeper to be there, a future signing. I've got a man in mind. He smashed it in the Premier League last season, made loads of saves, and he's doing the same for West Brom in the Championship. He will be in the Premier League either way next year. It's Sam Johnstone.
Yes.
They need him. You know, Southampton play a high line. He can cover for that. He does something similar at West Brom. I think he's a really solid goalkeeper. We noticed him last year when he was making all these reflex saves because he was receiving a lot of shots at West Brom because they were conceding a lot of goals. But he was the only man out there. You could say he deserves to stay in the Premier League. Get him back there in January, Southampton, and he could be the goalkeeper for years to come.
Leicester City, I've gone for Elif Elmas. I don't know, do you know this player? He's a central midfielder. He's a North Macedonian international, very good. He's plying his trade at Napoli at the moment, and he would be cover for Yuri Tielemans, who might just be leaving Leicester.
Yeah, I know him because my best mate bangs on about his time at Fenerbahce, and when he went to Napoli, I was aware of him. But he is an expensive player, so they'll have to really cough up the cash if they want to sign him.
To get a replacement for Yuri Tielemans, yes, he is. He's a very, very good player. Any lad from Skopje will tell you that.
Replacement for Tielemans?
Tielemans, there's rumours that he's out the door.
I think they could sign a centre-back for the future, someone who's 25 years old. He's playing for the Swiss national team in the Euros, representing. I always mention his name. He deserves a move to the Prem. Nico Elvedi.
Yes,
I think Leicester could do with him. He's been with. I just think he deserves a challenge in the Premier League, and for years to come, he could be the Leicester main man, a leader in that centre-back role. It wouldn't surprise me if it happens.
Manchester United, Boubacar Kamara. Sorry, Marseille fans, but we're taking the young central midfielder away from France to Old Trafford because United need a replacement for Fred and McTominay. Neither of them are bad players, but you need backup. You need quality backup.
The replacement I've gone for McFred in that position at Manchester United is a Gladbach holding mid. They're already linked with him. It could happen. Dennis Zakaria.
Yes.
The reason I'm mentioning him, It's because they should be giving an arm and a leg to make this deal happen. He is quality. We've watched him in the flesh. He's got the athleticism, the pace and strength, but also the understanding where the ball's going to go. He knows how to stick a challenge in. He is ready for the Premier League. It's just who bids the highest. And it should be United if they want to be fighting for the Premier League, going on runs in the Champions League. He can handle that. I'm sure of it. So that's the signing United need.
Tottenham Hotspur have gone for Milan Skriniar from Inter Milan, the Slovakian international, because they need to strengthen that centre-back position. Eric Dyer, sorry, just not good enough.
He's been looking good over the last few... I know he made a mistake in the last one.
Oh, it's a shocking mistake in the last game.
But Conte believes in him. He thinks he can be really good. Tottenham game against Liverpool, Eric Dyer was just pinging these balls around, looking like a top centre-back. I just don't know how he switches to such poor performances against West Ham. I don't know how you can do that. The Serie A is understood well from Conte. And that central centre-back role that Eric Dyer plays in, if they were to sign someone, should be the 24-year-old Brazilian called Bremer. Now, he's been smashing it in the Serie A this season. He can ping a ball just like Eric Dyer, but even better. Can put in a challenge. And he's just, I think he's Premier League ready. He's going to go to a big club over the next few years anyway. He's smashing it at Torino. I think Conte should get in there early and make him the central centre-back at the beginning of that defence. He should be he's the captain of Torino, so he's a leader as well. Not many people are talking about him, but they will be very soon.
Manchester City, it has to be Dusan Vlahovic, the Serbian international who is smashing it at Fiorentina. 21 goals last season. I think he's got 16 this season. He's an absolute bagsman, isn't he?
16 games in 19 starts this season. He is just smashing the statistics. We were speaking about like Haaland breaking through the scene. It feels like that again with Vlahovic, but they're going to have to pay like 120 million euros if Fiorentina will even let him go. City need a striker. He will score bags of goals in that role. But if Manchester City want to be serious about a Champions League and retaining the Premier League with years to come as the other lads get slightly older, then signing a young number 9 who will bag goals for days in that setup just makes sense. Dusan Vlahovic, I agree with you, Dad. That is the perfect role for them.
And the amazing thing is, though, this lad went for 2 million quid 3 years ago from Partizan Belgrade.
That is insane. I hope they put a little 10% buy on sale because they're going to make a lot of money.
Crystal Palace will first of all get Conor Gallagher on a permanent, but the guy that I'm going to buy is Dominic Solanke, who is smashing it for Bournemouth. Finally, you know, he's at Liverpool.
But every time he comes to the Prem, he seems to flop.
I know, Theo, but he's 24 years old. Give him time. I think he'd be brilliant. And I think Ayew, of course, and Benteke, they're in their 30s. They're aging a bit.
I've gone for sign Conor Gallagher on a permanent. I'm sorry to be boring, but that's the best thing Crystal Palace could do right now. Get it done.
Aston Villa, well, marvellous Nakamba is injured for the next few months, so I'm going to bring in Glenn Kamara, central midfielder from Rangers. So he's a player that Stevie Gerrard will know very, very well. He's a Finnish international, rock solid.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Dad. I've gone for Glenn Kamara as well. He's 26 years old. I think he'll get him on a decent deal. Steven Gerrard has played with him, managed under him, and understands him as a player. Great cover for that central midfield role when everyone gets injured. But Nakamba meant to be out for 4 months. It just makes sense. Get the deal done. I think it wouldn't be too expensive as well.
Now, that is all 20 teams. I'm going off for a beer after all that research.
Yeah, maybe a mulled wine with this time of year.
Oh, that's a good shout.
But please subscribe. We're trying to get to 750,000 subscribers before the end of the year. We've got a big 2022 to come, but please stick around for that.
Can't wait. Have a very Merry Christmas, and we might just have a cheeky Premier League predictions.
Yeah, because it's Christmas Eve, 10k likes. Maybe
10k, absolutely.
Prem predictions on Christmas Day as well, so get notifications.
You know what we'll do, Theo? We'll do Prem predictions having a few bevies.
Let's do it. See you in a bit.
See ya.